Everyone, I am just going to make sure that I really am live before I get started today. Let's see. And to everyone in the United States, happy President's Day. I love learning about our founding fathers and that history, and it's actually why I have a picture of Thomas Jefferson just up behind me. Let's see here. Just checking if I am live. It looks like I am. All right. Well, again, welcome in everyone, and welcome to Beyond Remission, a new era of permanent healing. I'm so glad that you're here. And before I get started, for those of you that are new to my channel, I want you to learn a little bit more about me. That if you have an autoimmune disease, I understand. In my teens and through my 20s, I developed 8 autoimmune diseases, conditions like MS, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's, Raynaud's, eczema, and I had a whole host of chronic illnesses as well, depression and anxiety and ADD. And after years of trying all kinds of Western medicine and food diets and supplements and this ever-changing rotation of protocols, nothing was working for me, and it led me to where I work now, which is called a New Life Center, where my mentor David Cope shared with me an awakening that is actually me and my emotional state and how I was responding to the stress in my life that actually caused my immune system to become dysregulated. I came here, I healed in about 3 months, and almost 10 years later, still healthy, not in remission, completely healed. And that's the results that I get all of my students. We are not about managing symptoms here. We are about the permanent healing of autoimmune diseases and chronic illnesses. And so I'm excited about today's topic for today. The title is The Hidden Power of the Allostatic Load. I am excited to share with you about the allostatic load. This is going to be the science behind how you got your autoimmune disease. So there's no longer going to be a mystery illness. And most importantly, at the end of this video, I'm going to share how we heal. How do we re-empower ourselves to heal? And so for me, this is personal because when I had all of my autoimmune diseases, and I think back to that first diagnosis, I think the first one was actually Hashimoto's. When they sat across from me and told me I had an autoimmune disease, it truly felt like I got hit by a comet. Like it came out of thin air. Where did this come from? What happened? It seemed so random, and it seemed very scary. And I think even more concerning is that my doctors didn't have a clear, cut and dry explanation of the how. How did I get this? Why did I get this autoimmune disease? And in retrospect, it seems so clear. If I or my doctors don't understand how I developed an autoimmune disease, well, then how could I have ever gotten better? Right? So today we are going to take the mystery out of your autoimmune disease. And I'm going to share for me, this is like really important, 2 really important points. One, you're going to be able to see that your autoimmune disease or diseases were not just an overnight appearance. These were long time coming in all of our lives, and the allostatic load is going to teach us this. But most importantly, number 2, we're also going to learn from this. What do I do about that? Okay, how do I heal now that today you're going to learn the story of how your autoimmune disease developed over time. So we're going to share the solution as well. And in there too, I'm going to share some really important information about autoimmune diseases, such as the definition, the true root cause, which Western, alternative, and functional do not know. You're going to learn the true root cause. And also, what is it about us? Why are we people who develop autoimmune diseases? And then we're going to go into the allostatic load. All right, well, let's get started today. First, I need to share that definition of autoimmune diseases, because when I was diagnosed with my autoimmune diseases, if you would have asked me what an autoimmune disease was, I don't think I could have really given you a clear definition. So first, we need to know what they are. Autoimmune diseases are conditions in which a person's immune system becomes dysregulated and mistakenly attacks the tissues and organs it was designed to protect. And in a moment, we're going to come back to that definition. It is going to reveal the true root cause. So, for example, with the autoimmune disease Hashimoto's thyroiditis, that dysregulated immune system is attacking the thyroid. With arthritis, the dysregulated immune system is attacking the joint lining. With multiple sclerosis, the immune system is attacking the myelin sheath. With celiac disease, the immune system is attacking the small intestine. With Raynaud's disease, the immune system is attacking our extremities and the blood vessels like the fingers and toes, and also other extremities like the lips, ears, and nose. That was true for me when I had this disease. And what I want you to gather just in this is really important. In all autoimmune diseases, there is a specific tissue or organ that is being attacked. And so let's go into how the medical world understands autoimmune disease. And it's going to make sense that when I and you went to your doctors and were diagnosed, no one had a clear answer of where these autoimmune diseases were truly coming from. So Western medicine doctors believe the precise cause of autoimmune disease is unknown. And so instead they focus on autoimmune risk factors, such as being female, having a relative with an autoimmune disease, being a smoker, already having a previous autoimmune disease, having obesity, or infections. Now, functional and alternative medicine, they believe that autoimmune diseases are caused by root causes. And that plural part of it is going to be really important in just a moment. And so the root causes that they identify are things such as our genetics. So not only maybe having a family member, mother or father with autoimmune, but also maybe having a gene like the MTHR gene, the environment that we live in, such as the water we drink, the products we use could be a root cause, the air we breathe, having a leaky gut, the foods we eat could be a root cause, toxicity, and the Epstein-Barr virus, right? And to me, that makes a lot of sense. Like those could be some root causes. But here's the thing I need you to know. Unfortunately, none of these are the root cause. And how do we know that? We can know definitively that none of those root causes from alternative functional medicine are the real root cause because we are not permanently healing, right? If we were focusing on those, if we were the root cause, we all would be permanently healing. So that leads to the question, what is the root cause? And I need you to know too, this root cause of autoimmune, it's what we all share, and it is a singular root cause. So in order to understand the true root cause, we have to go back to the definition of autoimmune diseases. Again, the answer is going to be in here. So autoimmune diseases are conditions in which a person's immune system becomes dysregulated and mistakenly attacks the very tissues and organs it was designed to protect. So here it is. The root cause of autoimmune diseases, the dysregulation of our immune system, singular. So can you see from this definition, the root cause of all autoimmune diseases is the dysregulated immune system. So in hindsight, this seems very obvious to me that all autoimmune diseases, regardless of the name or the tissues or organs that are being attacked, are caused by one root cause singular, the dysregulation of the immune system. So what I really want you to understand is that all autoimmune diseases, they really aren't these separate conditions, these separate diseases. They're really a disease of our immune system. I'll say that again, autoimmune diseases are a disease of our immune system. It's the singular root cause, that dysregulated immune system of all autoimmune diseases. And to me, this makes what I went through with autoimmune makes so much more sense because I didn't understand why I kept getting more autoimmune diseases. So what I can understand about myself now is I didn't actually have 8 autoimmune diseases, 8 separate autoimmune diseases. I actually had one disease. I had a disease of my immune system. I had a dysregulated immune system that was showing up in 8 different ways, attacking 8 different tissues and organs, hence my 8 autoimmune diseases. Now, let's go into what is it about us that developed these autoimmune diseases. Why did our immune system become dysregulated? And for me, this is really important because, again, you're going to find it's not because of your genetics. It doesn't have to do with environmental toxins or food or anything external. It actually solely has to do with us and the kind of people that we were born as. So not good or bad, but people like us who develop autoimmune diseases, we are people born not well wired to handle the emotional stressors of life. We're not born well wired to handle emotional stress. This is true across the board with all of us who have developed an autoimmune disease. And so what has happened is over time, over our lifetime, we have unknowingly suppressed our emotional stress. This has caused our physical health over time to get progressively worse, weakening our immune system, and again, over time, developing autoimmune diseases and our symptoms. So to break it down really simply, again, it starts with how we are wired, not well wired for emotional stress, unknowingly suppress the emotional stressors of our life over time, bodies created autoimmune diseases. And so for those of us with an autoimmune disease, this is what I have found. Creating autoimmune diseases is just how our bodies respond to suppressing our emotional stress. And it's not, I say again, not good or bad. It's just how our bodies respond to suppressed emotional stress. And I like to share this because you might be out there and thinking, well, this makes sense, but I'm not stressed, Josie. I deal with my stress. And for you out there, I understand. I came into the work that I do 10 years ago. I was a licensed professional counselor. I was truly a therapist, gone to graduate school, had my license. I felt like I had done the inner work, the deep work, had seen a therapist, helped people who were struggling emotionally in their life. I thought, no way was I emotionally stressed or was holding on to suppressed emotional stress. But I always say our body is the litmus test. My body, with all my autoimmune diseases, was sharing with me very clearly, cut and dry, Josie, you don't know. You're not natural at handling stress. You did suppress your emotional stress. And so I just want you to know it's true for all of us, and it's okay. It's okay. We didn't know we were doing it, but we did. And I'm going to share kind of what we can do about that to heal in just a moment. So next, this is going to lead us in to really the topic of today, which is really how we developed, the science behind how we developed our autoimmune. I love this scientific concept. And it's, again, the science behind how our suppressed emotional stress, again, we unknowingly suppressed our emotional stress, how that created over time our autoimmune diseases. And it will also share for those with chronic illnesses, it's going to share how those chronic illnesses were created as well. So the term for this, it's called the allostatic load. The allostatic load. And let's define the allostatic load. The allostatic load is the accumulating wear and tear on the body as an individual is exposed to chronic emotional stress. And so the allostatic load shows us there is a direct correlation between suppressed emotional stress and the weakening of our immune system. That's, again, caused by that. It causes a wear and tear on the body. And so each of us, interestingly, have an allostatic load. And I'm going to share with you my allostatic load so you can see how my suppressed emotional stress over time created my autoimmune diseases. And you're also going to see how they created some of my chronic illnesses as well. And as I'm sharing this, I want you to be thinking about your story, your suppressed emotional stress, your allostatic load, and the development of your conditions. And so for me, at birth, I was born, I was healthy. I didn't have any illnesses. I didn't have any autoimmune diseases. But then when I was 3, I had the emotional stressor of my dad leaving the home for a number of months and going to rehab. And as a result, my body developed allergies. When I was 7, we moved from the small town, eastern Colorado that I grew up in, to the big city of Denver, Colorado. And I suppressed that emotional stress, developed strep and ear infections. When I was 12, I had the stress of starting middle school, and as a result, I developed asthma. When I was 15, my dad died, and I suppressed that emotional stress of that loss, and I developed depression and anxiety as a result. When I was 18, I started college, and I suppressed that experience, developed skin rashes. Age 21, I had my first really big romantic breakup, and as a result, I developed food allergies. As you can see, these conditions are getting progressively worse as over time I'm suppressing more of my emotional stress. So at this point, when I was 21, my allostatic load, again, that accumulating wear and tear on the body from chronic emotional stress, was getting very high. And I was at what we call my tipping point. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. And then at age 22, that next year, I had the stress of graduating college. I was at that tipping point, and that stressor, graduating college, caused my body to tip over into developing autoimmune diseases. My immune system became dysregulated at that point. I developed Hashimoto's, and over time kept suppressing my emotional stressors, immune system dysregulated, and I continued to develop more autoimmune diseases in my 20s. So this is really important. It is the accumulation of our suppressed emotional stress, again, creating that weakening of the immune system that over time led to our autoimmune disease. And again, you can see that very clearly in my allostatic load story. So let's come to that tipping point. Remember, when I was 21, I had that romantic breakup. I developed food allergies. I was at that autoimmune tipping point. So after a lifetime of suppressed emotional stress, this is important, we all have a major life stressor that occurred that was so taxing on our already previously weakened immune system that it created a tipping point where the immune system can no longer handle that major stressor, and the immune system dysregulates and creates an autoimmune disease. So over time, continuing down this path of suppressing our emotional stress, it causes our body to develop even more autoimmune diseases like myself. And I have to say, most people that I work with have multiple autoimmune diseases. And this is how it happens. So let's go back to that major stressor. For many women that I work with, the major life stressors that cause that autoimmune tipping point are, and this was mine, graduating college. That's when I tipped. Getting pregnant, death of a loved one, or becoming an empty nester. Those children finally leaving the house and it just being you and likely your partner or husband for the first time in a long time. Now, here's the thing. This is what the allostatic load teaches us. That I hope you can see that there is science behind this. And the science of the allostatic load teaches us that our autoimmune disease was not random, right? It wasn't caused by our genetics, by the Epstein-Barr virus, by environmental toxins, by the foods that we eat. The true cause of our autoimmune disease is our suppressed emotional stress, which again weakened our immune system over time and eventually led to a dysregulated immune system, right? And remember that dysregulated immune system is the singular true root cause of all autoimmune diseases. But what I want you to know is that this is empowering. This is empowering. I was completely, and we all are completely disempowered when we don't know how our autoimmune diseases happen, where they came from. So the allostatic load gives us that crystal clear picture of the progression of suppressed emotional stress that led to our autoimmune diseases. And what I love about the allostatic load is that I can realize that unknowingly, oh, it was me, and how I did not emotionally handle and respond to life well, that over time created my autoimmune diseases. So when I know that, then we can all know that we can learn a new way. And that's really all it takes. We have to learn a new way of how to respond to the emotional stressors of our life and not suppress them now and into the future. And guess what happens when we change how we respond to stress? We move back down the allostatic load. Our weakened and dysregulated immune system begins to strengthen again. And over time, a person, and really not that long of time, I mean months, permanently heals autoimmune disease because that immune system goes back to normal functioning. That root cause, the dysregulated immune system, is resolved. So the allostatic load actually teaches us it's our response to stress in life, which is actually something that we can be in charge of, which allows us to be in charge of our health and well-being and know not only the secret and the key of how to actually heal, but also how to stay healthy into the future. And that is what I do. That is my expertise. That is what I did. It's why I no longer have autoimmune and I don't have to take any supplements. I don't do any food diets. I don't take any medication. My dysregulated immune system went back to normal functioning almost 10 years ago simply by me learning how to emotionally respond to life. Because again, like I shared today, just because we're not well wired to handle emotional stress, it doesn't mean that we can't learn. And when we learn, again, back down the allostatic load, immune system back to normal functioning, cease to have autoimmune diseases and all of our symptoms. And if this is something that you are interested in, learning how to emotionally respond to life so that your immune system can go back to normal functioning and you can permanently heal your autoimmune diseases, go back down the allostatic load chart, that's what I teach in my 13-week programs. And I take a person educationally, step by step, down that route. It's a route that we have to be taught. And we also have to be taught by someone who has done it. And here where I work at a New Life Center, we are all people, myself and my mentor, David Cope, who have permanently healed our autoimmune diseases with exactly what I teach. And again, if you're interested in exploring this more, I have a link to apply for a complimentary consultation. The link is down below. I also have a link for my 101. It's a free course on autoimmune disease and chronic illness. I share about the allostatic load in this video, but I also go way more in depth into autoimmune diseases and give you a really good understanding of what happened and again, how to heal. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Before I get off, I'm going to check the chat to see if we've got anyone in there. Let's see. Oh, Salty Combat Diver, great to see you. You are so right. Spiritual, mental health, and physical health are interconnected. I could not agree with you more. And that really is the purpose of my channel, to help people out there understand that in a good way, it is our emotional health. It is the driving force of our physical health. And the beautiful, empowering thing about that is we have agency, full agency and control over our emotional health. People like us, again, not well wired, but just need to learn a new way. What is it used to call? Salty Combat Diver, emotional constipation. I guess I like that term, one I have not thought about, but yes, people like us who develop autoimmune diseases, you could call it an emotional constipation, a backup of suppressed emotional stress. And again, the beautiful thing is to heal, to resolve that, we actually don't need to go into our past and go back into all of those old stressors. Like, so for me, I didn't actually have to go back into the past to resolve the pain of the loss of my dad or moving or graduating college. All I really had to do, and what I teach my students, we have to learn now. We have to learn now how to handle our life and then have a roadmap for the future. And the beautiful thing is all of that backup of suppressed emotional stress resolves naturally. And again, most importantly, that immune system goes back to normal functioning and we heal. Oh, thank you, Allison. It's great to see you today too. I'm so glad that you're here. I love you on my channel, and thank you for letting me know that this rings true for you. It rang true and rings true for me too. That is when I came here, gosh, about 10 years ago. And this is not my theory. This is my mentor, David Cope's awareness and awakening. He discovered this 18 years ago when he realized that his emotional stress of his divorce created the breakdown of his immune system, causing his autoimmune diseases. He developed this educational system to teach people like us how to emotionally handle life. He healed. He started working with people here in the Denver area. They healed 18 years ago. I came through the program 10 years ago. I healed, and my healing and this message, which so resonates with me and is my truth, is really why I'm here today, why I'm sharing, why I need to get out into the world, that there is another way to heal. And it doesn't involve anything but ourselves, that as humans, we possess the natural capacity to heal ourselves. Our bodies possess that. We just need to get the information and to really wake up to that. And that's what happened with me 10 years ago. So thank you all for being here. I will not be doing a live this Friday. We are doing some exciting things with our business, with Beyond Remission, getting the message out, but I will be back again next week. All right. Thanks so much and take care.